Hello and welcome to another episode of the Property Voice podcast. My name is Richard Brown, and as always, it's a pleasure to have you join me again on the show today. Well, it's quite late on recording deadline day, and I was thinking to myself, what am I going to share with you this week? I've got a few things planned for the next couple of weeks, but it was really a case of what am I going to share this week? And I just thought I'd keep it real, to be honest with you. And really just to say that today's been a tough day. In fact, it's been not just a tough day, it's been a tough couple of weeks. And I think I was going to title this little episode, Be Careful What You Wish For, or Growing Pains. I'm not sure what the title is going to be, but you're probably getting the gist of it by just listening to those sort of ideas. So be careful what you wish for, and growing pains being the stimulus, really, what I want to talk about. So I've been talking about going large in our property business, and I've been going large in my property business now for about 18 months. But it does bring some issues that come along with that. There's sometimes some people management issues, there's sometimes some systems that you need to put in place. We ourselves need to grow. We need capital, of course. There's a whole range of different things that come with growing and scaling our property business. So that's the growing pains part of it. And I think if you couple that with other elements, so I'm very much a believer in being holistic and balanced in what we do. And so from my personal point of view, I'm not in 100% physical health at the moment. It's nothing too untoward. It's just that I've had an ankle injury. I've had an ankle injury now for a couple of years. I finally went in and had an operation done in early July, and I'm just recovering from that now. I'm in post-op recovery. And I was talking to my consultant about my goals, because the whole purpose of doing the ankle, basically I had ligament reconstruction and some cartilage repair work done in my ankle. And the whole point of going through an operation was that I'd have a better quality of life at the end of it. But actually in the short term, it hasn't really worked out that way. Say post-op recovery, and I talked to my consultant about how long it might take for me to run a 5K. That's my goal, run a 5K. Hopefully, maybe I'll be able to run the odd 10K, but my immediate goal is to run a 5K. And he said, 8 months. 8 months? Well, that was quite a long time. I was expecting maybe 8 weeks. He said 8 months. So fair enough, okay. And he said, well, what can we stretch that to? And we stretched it to 6. So I've got a 6-month target to run a 5 kilometers. And but the upshot of that, of course, is I'm not that mobile. I'm having to go to physiotherapy to work on my strength and conditioning. It takes quite a long time to get back up to full speed. So as a result of that, I'm not as physically active as I used to be. And because I'm not as physically active as I used to be, perhaps I haven't got quite the same energy, perhaps I haven't got quite the same way of releasing pent-up stress or things like that kind of build up as well. So got that on the other hand as well. I've got quite a bit of travel coming up, and what's happened on my last couple of trips, probably every couple of months I travel for 2 to 4 weeks at a time. And so I'm on the road a lot. That's hotels, that's airports, and you get out of your routine, particularly your routine with healthy eating and that sort of thing. So there's another factor. So I didn't mean to sort of come on and just moan on this particular episode of the podcast, but I did want to kind of keep it real. I think I saw somebody in the property community talking about being real on one of their social media posts, and I thought, yeah, do you know what? You don't really know what's going on in people's lives half the time. And, what we sometimes put out there in social media and perhaps on podcasts or video casts like this, it might be just for the cameras, as it were. But I thought today I'd just sort of share something of a bit of a real situation. I'm dealing with some issues with the growing pains that I referred to, and there was a kind of a hint last week as well. Some of the health issues could be, in better shape, but it's moving in the right direction. I've had the operation on my ankle, and counting my blessings. I really am counting my blessings that I will be able to walk again and run again as a result of this operation. So it could be far, far worse, that's for sure. So I'm very, very grateful. But I think I need to sort of reconnect a little bit. I need to maybe do less in certain areas, if I'm really honest with myself. I've got lots of mentoring clients on the go at the moment, and that's great fun, but that's another added issue that I'm contending with. I've got a number of projects on the go, quickly trying to catch up with some of the systems. For example, recruiting a bookkeeper. Recently brought in not full-time, but a lettings and property manager. So there's people who are coming on board to help relieve some of the strain. So I guess it's going to get better. And the good news is in a couple of weeks, I'm off to my mastermind group in the States. So that'll be a good opportunity to reconnect and work on the business instead of in the business. So I think the point that really I wanted to get over in today's message, as I say, it's not a very long one, is really about trying to get balance and a sense of perspective in our lives. And sometimes we just need to stop and take stock of what we're doing. Is everything we're doing necessary? Is it really what we need as well as what we want? And to kind of just reevaluate periodically. I do say that actually, that I try and build those sort of milestone reviews into my own sort of property business periodically. And usually I do every quarter actually. But I think what's happened over the course of this year is it's just been a bit of a snowball running down a hill, and I really haven't had too much time to just stop and take stock. So if that's one piece of advice perhaps I can share with you today, I hope you don't mind this sort of real share with you on the Property Voice podcast this week. I'm about to go up to the Northeast and deliver a presentation to some of the guys up there in a networking meeting, and hopefully I'll connect with a few people up in the Northeast as well while I'm up there. I've got a meeting down in London on the 16th of October. That's a mastermind dinner. We'd love to have you come and join me at that. But essentially, I think what I'm going to do is just take stock a little bit myself and have a little think about what I'm going to do. So just watch this space. Let's see what happens. But that's my tip for you actually, is just to keep things in balance, keep a sense of perspective. Just stop now and again and take stock. Well, there we go. Short and sweet this week. As you can see, I'm still experimenting with the videos to try and convey the Property Voice podcast. They're going to get better. Martin, who's helping me, give me some critique on the videos. He's telling me that I shouldn't do this and I shouldn't do that. So I'm learning. So forgive me if it hasn't come over 100% professional. But and of course, if you're listening on the podcast and you can't see me, sorry again. I shouldn't really be saying those things because it doesn't sound professional, does it? But bear with me because I'm trying to do a video because a new audience wants to see video, obviously. So I'm just trying to reach as many people as I possibly can with this kind of message. So I guess that's it for this week. The show notes of what there will be over the website, thepropertyvoice.net. If you want to talk about anything to do with today's show, obviously it's kind of a different theme, or anything to do with property investing more generally, you can always email me, podcast@thepropertyvoice.net, and I'd be more than happy to hear from you. But I guess right now, all that's left to say is thanks very much for listening again this week, and until next time on the Property Voice podcast, it's ciao ciao.